Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Saturday. Hope you guys had a great Friday and a great Saturday. Obviously, we got the Super Bowl tomorrow, so probably won't have a video out tomorrow. But today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, how I did for the week, along with the miners. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll take a look at also on the mining stocks themselves to take a look at analyst price targets and compare them to what I have for them. And then we'll get into, obviously, the weekly comparison, and we'll call it a day. All right, so as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. I'm invested in the following companies and coins for full disclosure. So here's Bitcoin right now on the daily chart. It is at 42,400. We obviously during the week tried but failed on multiple attempts to get above our resistance here, which was 44,750 roughly on the chart here. And we saw it here on February 8th, February 9th, and February 10th. We tried to get above it and close above it, but we didn't obviously close above it. So we've come down in price. We've obviously had the Fed interest rate hikes that FUD is going around, and that contributed to Bitcoin coming down in price along with the market. So we are where we are right now. Our next support is at 40,700 or so. We'll see if we can stay above this going forward, and then obviously see if we can break through this resistance at 44,750. If we can do that, then our next resistance will be at 47,100 or so, drawn here by this little green line here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it right now. Right now, it's not looking too bad. If we look at the RSI is at 55 or so. And the last time we were down here, we were at this point here. So we are still above that slight increase, obviously, in price where the RSI is. So this is leading me to think that we do have the potential to go up higher from the current RSI that we are at in the short term. We'll see how the long term plays out. But right now, we're still looking okay on that. Let's take a look at Ethereum here really quick as well. Ethereum obviously has done the same thing as Bitcoin. I haven't drawn any resistance lines. The only one that I have here is this one, and that one goes back quite a ways. And that was at, what, 3,950 or so. But we obviously have some resistance here at the 3,350 mark, looks like, and then possibly some resistance as well at 3,625 or so as well. Looks like we've come down and bounced off of it a couple of times here as well. So we'll see how this plays out. The RSI is looking good still. We are at 49 on the RSI, and the last time we were this low on the RSI was maybe right around here, and so we're obviously higher in price and about the same in the RSI. So I think we're good there as well. Short term, I think we're okay. Long term, we'll have to see how this plays out. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin total hash rate, see how that's doing. We'll get this reloaded, and we are seeing a little uptick in the hash rate. It's at 188 right now on the 7-day averages, and we're having a huge spike obviously on the raw values. Oh, that's a lot, 248 on the raw. So interesting to see what's going on there, why that's spiking so much on the raw values for the day. Let's take a look at the 30-day here. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge spike. So somebody's plugging some miners someplace to get that huge spike. That's from 188. That's a 60 million terahashes increase. That's huge. So we'll have to see what that is, see if that continues to stay at that place and go higher or not, or if it's going to come back down. But we'll see what that does going forward. Obviously, we'll take a look at the miners' revenue as well. Miners' revenue is upticking as well to 50 million, which is surprising here since we have a hash rate increase on the raw values. 7-day averages is still going up as well. Obviously, Bitcoin price has gone up a little bit from last week. But yeah, we are at 39 and raw values are pointing up to 50. So that's interesting as well. All right, so let's take a look at the miners. So Argo obviously finished out the week down. It was down 11% to 93. It has been battling with the 20-day moving average here the past week. It stayed above it for a couple of days, and then obviously on Friday, yesterday, it broke below it and finished the day below it as well. So the targets, analyst price targets, we have basically 3 analysts. We got 2 strong buys, 1 regular buy, and their price targets are 366 to $2.22. I have them at, if we look at Argo here, I have them about 392 to 261. using the last 3 quarters, and then obviously for this quarter, what that's going to be like, we just don't know yet. So that's in play, but that's based on that. And then if we use the full possible full year 2022 numbers, we're looking at 434. Bitcoin stays where it's at. The hash rate stays where it's at. Everything stays where it's at. I have them at 434. So obviously pretty close to what they have them here, right between that range. So somebody's doing their homework here, so that's good. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. So Bitfarms has also gone above the 20-day moving average here in the last week. It came close to touching the 50-day moving average, but it obviously didn't go above it. And then it closed out the week just a little bit above the 20-day moving average, which is good. And the Analysts have it at 785. So let's take a look what I have them at for Bitfarms. Let's see here. Bitfarms I have between 653 and 979, and this is obviously for the past 3 quarters, and then this quarter, which we're in 2022. But I have them at 996 if everything stays the same for the price of Bitcoin, hash rate, everything else. Nothing changes. This is what they would possibly be making for the year. So I got them at 996, which is pretty much in line with what's over here right now. So pretty close to what they have them here at 785. So it looks like we have only one analyst with a buy rating on them. Cleanspark was down 6.55% to 870. It has touched the 50-day moving average here, but didn't close above it. It did the same thing yesterday, and then obviously closed below it, but it is above the 20-day moving average, which is good. Cleanspark obviously had a good quarterly report, so that pumped it up higher, obviously, during the week, which was good to see. And we have 2 analysts on it with 1 strong buy rating and 1 regular buy rating. And their price target is between 16 and 30. So let's take a look at where I have them at. Cleanspark I have right now at between 25.67 and 38.50. And then for the full year, if everything gets installed, or not, everything stays the same, price, Bitcoin, hash rate, everything stays the same, I have them at 75% net income from gross revenue at 54.75. That's if they have a 20 price to earnings multiple. And I think I have the same thing set for everybody except for a couple of guys here that have not a lot of future hash rate growth. So we'll take a look at the next one. So 38.25, and they have them at 30. So obviously mine's a little bit higher. So I think we'll see how this plays out, but I think this may get increased here in the coming weeks and months as they obviously perform better. So next is Core Scientific, or Core Scientific, and they are at 1020, down 295 yesterday percent, and they are above the 50-day moving average. They were battling with the 100-day moving average as well, but obviously closed below it, and we are starting to see the start of the 200-day moving average as well on them. So we got 3 analysts out for them. We got 1 strong buy rating and 2 buy ratings, and current price targets are between 1875 and 15. Let's see what I got for them. Core Scientific cores, I am between 906 and 1359 right now. Obviously, they do have a lot of shares out, 317 million, it looks like. And I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up higher. Same thing here. I have them at 28.27 at the end of the year, just using the full yearly data that's possible out there. And if Bitcoin stays the same, hash rate doesn't change, everything stays the same, this is where they would possibly be at the end of the year with 20 price to earnings multiple and 75 net income from gross. So what did they have them at? 1875 to 15. That's pretty close. That's pretty close to where I have them right now. They're a little bit higher than I have them, but I'm pretty certain that we're not sure exactly how many shares are out. I wonder if this is going to get updated here once more data comes out from them going through the spec. So next is Digihost. Digihost was down 482%, so it's at $3.95. It actually finished up during the week above the 50-day moving average, but falling below it now. So it's battling with the 20-day moving average right now, and we'll see if it can stay above it as well. So we got 1 analyst with a buy rating on them with a price target of 824, and I got Digihost at Digihost. Digihost at 454 and 680, and then possibly 1731 if everything stays the same for the full year. Bitcoin price, hash rate, everything stays the same. I'm at 1731, so obviously higher than they have them here, but currently 824 is on the higher end of what I have them right now based on the last 3 quarters and possibly this quarter as well. All right, so DMG was down 4.96% to 51 cents. It also battled with the 50-day moving average here, got denied from it, it came back down, and it is just barely sitting above the 20-day moving average right now. So we got one buy rating on them with a price target of $1.57. And DMG, I have them at between $1.23 and $1.85, so right within that range as well. If everything stayed the same, they would be for the end of this year at $2.85 possibly. That's just for comparison, obviously. And the next one is Hive. Hive was down 6.31% yesterday to $2.08. It is obviously still above the 20-day moving average. It came close to the 50-day, but not quite. So we'll see how this one plays out as well. See if it can keep the strength and stay above the 20-day moving average. And we got one buy rating on them with a price target of $3.95. And I have them at between $3.35 and $5.03. So kind of in the middle range there. And if everything stayed the same for the full year of 2022, they would be around $6 at 20 price to earnings multiple, 75% net income from gross revenue. That's where I have them at, so pretty close. And then we got Hut. Hut 8 was down 6.68% yesterday to 713. It was above just barely, it closed one day, Thursday, above the 50-day moving average, and then it's obviously fallen below it on Friday. So it's got four ratings. One is a strong buy rating, and then 3 regular buy ratings with a price target between 1570 and 1256. And if we look at Hut here for what I have for them, I have them right now between 661 and 961. If everything stayed the same for the year 2022, 20 price to earnings multiple, 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at 1215. So they do have them on the higher side here. This would be on my low end here. And the reason for that obviously is what they're going to be mining. The big question for me is always the GPU mining. That's a tough one because they do convert it over to Bitcoin mining, so does Hive. So that gets always updated a little bit after they provide their quarterly results. So we know what they actually mine for that. Let's take a look at Iris Energy. So Iris Energy was actually up 0.27% yesterday to 1478. It is above the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average now. So they started trading on NASDAQ back in November. So we're starting to finally get some of that data in here, and then we'll get the 50-day or the 100-day and 200-day moving averages once those come in. But we do have, obviously, quite a lot of analysts on them. We have 5 analysts with, looks like, what do we got? 2 with a strong buy rating and 3 with a buy rating. And the price range is anywhere between $18 and $31. So let's take a look at what I have for them. Iris, I have them between $8.91 and $13.36 right now. And that is because they only have 5.36% of their hash rate installed. They are at 805 petahash right now. So they have a long ways to go, obviously, to get to that price target. And even for the full year, if they just mined, obviously, at this rate here, they would be at 1579 with a price to earnings multiple of 20, 75% income from gross revenue right now. We know that they're going to get a lot more miners installed here, so I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up. So $31 might be doable, obviously, depending on how many miners they install this year and everything else and where the Bitcoin price is. So that is doable. It's obviously a higher end here, and maybe they're judging that based on future hash rate growth for Iris. And then Marathon was down 6.56% to 2693. It Thursday touched the 50-day moving average, but it obviously came down below it, and it is now in the middle between the 50 and the 20-day averages. We'll see how this plays out. And we do have 6 analysts on them, so it's split, 3 strong buys, 3 regular buys, and the price target is between $48 and $74. So let's take a look at what I have for them. Marathon, I have them at 1929 to 2894 right now. They're also at 15% operational right now, so they're going to have a lot more miners. They want to be at 23.3 exahash by the end of this year. We'll see if they can pull this off, obviously. But even if they stay where they are right now with the current hash rate, Bitcoin price stays where it's at, we're looking at possibly for the year 3757 with a 20 price earnings multiple and 75% net income from gross revenue. So 3757, and they have them at 48, so I'm a little bit below that. And there may be pricing in Bitcoin going up higher in price, but they got to be careful because you also have hash rate increases, which is going to reduce the amount that they're earning. And we have obviously all the other guys getting more miners installed, so that's contributing to the hash rate increase. So that's just where that is at. And then Mawson is was down 6.16% to 457. It is now below the 20-day moving average, which isn't good. We obviously want to see this stay above it. They did come close on, looks like Tuesday, to almost touch the 50-day moving average. and obviously got rejected from that, came down. Obviously, Bitcoin came down towards the end of the week, so that's partially for all of these miners having a bad day yesterday. And we got one analyst with a buy rating on them, and the price target is $17. Looks like high, average, and low for it. So let's take a look and see where I have Mawson at. Mawson I have right now between 764 and 1147. This is the last 3 quarters, plus this quarter possibly. But if we look at the full year of 2022, we have them at 1760, and that is right there on that, pretty close to that, what they have. But that's obviously Bitcoin stays where it's at, hash rate stays where it's at, which we know it's not going to happen, but that's just for comparison reasons there. And then finally, we got Riot here. Riot was down 4.67% yesterday to 1837. It almost came close to the 50-day moving average here on the chart. It is now between the 50 and the 20-day moving averages. And we do have 10 analysts with, looks like 3 strong buy ratings and 7 buy ratings. And we have a price target anywhere between 53 and 21. So let's see, what do I have for them? For Riot, I have them at 1921 to 2882 right now for the last 3 quarters in this current quarter in 2022. And then if we look at the 2022 possible for the full year, we're looking at a $31.44 price target on the stock based on if everything stayed the same. But we know that's not going to happen. They are also only 26.59% operational. They're also doing immersion cooling, and so are a couple other companies. I think we saw Bitfarms doing it, Cleanspark, and I think there's also a couple other guys that are going to be doing that. That's going to increase their hash rate as well, which is going to help them make more money in the long run. All right, so that's everybody here. Kind of just a quick update on those guys. Let's see what the analysts are thinking and everything else. So let's take a look at the miners weekly, see how they did to Bitcoin, comparing it to Bitcoin. So we got Bitcoin was basically finished out the week at 42,407. So it was up 2.19% on the week, $907 increase. And if we look at it for the 4 weeks, it was obviously up as well. So it looks like we're having a little positive trend here in the last couple of weeks on it. Bitcoin, we've obviously covered all the stock prices, so I'm not going to get into it too much. But we'll see obviously that Argo was down 0.97 on the week. Bitfarms was up 2.3. Cleanspark was up nicely 27.38. Core Scientific was up 8.05%. Digihost was down almost 7.75%. And then DMG was up 9.26%. Hive was up 4%. Hot 8 was up 9.86%. Iris was down 16.35%. Marathon was up 14.55%. Mawson was down 12.45%. And Riot was up 10.86%. So if we look at them on the chart here, and we'll take a look at it going descending, we can see here on the 1 week chart, Bitcoin is right here at 2.19% increase. So all of these guys did better than Bitcoin. That includes obviously Bitfarms, Hive, Core Scientific, DMG, Hut, Riot, Marathon, and Cleanspark. Obviously kicked everyone's rear end here for the week. Obviously they posted great earnings for their quarterly results. So that obviously shut the stock up during the week. And then we got obviously Digihost, Argo, Mawson, and Iris way down for the other end of it here. So now if we look at the 4 week chart, let's do this as well. Descending, we can see here that on the 4 week chart, everybody, for the most part, is up except for DMG and Argo. Argo are down on the 4 weeks if we're comparing it. Bitcoin is up 60.32%. Iris is a little bit below it. Hive is below that as well. Bitfarms is below it, and so is Mawson. And then we have Marathon, Riot, Digihost, Hut 8, Cleanspark, and Core Scientific being way above it. Core Scientific obviously has done the best if you look at it from the 4 week time period. And then let's take a look at the 8 week really quick while we're at it. And everybody's going to be pretty much in red for that one. Sort that is descending. And here's the 8 week chart. Yeah, everybody's down. So Bitcoin was down 16.56%, and everybody else is down way above that, with Mawson doing the worst here at 43.51%. So if you bought it 8 weeks ago, you'd be down quite a bit on it. You'd be down on pretty much on everything if you bought 8 weeks ago. Same thing pretty much for the 12 week chart. So that's when we started kind of dropping in price on everything. So if we look at that on the 12 week chart, we can see Bitcoin is down 20% from 12 weeks ago, and pretty much everybody except for Digihost and Core Scientific, they are down basically 2x and 2.5x compared to Bitcoin on the 12 week chart. And I keep saying that, when Bitcoin goes down, these guys will probably go down 2.5x more than Bitcoin does. But when Bitcoin goes up, these guys will also do the same thing where they go up 2.5 times more than Bitcoin does. So that's obviously par for the course here with them. And if we look at the big chart here on these guys, let's see if we can get everybody in here. Riot, it's kind of close. We can see that obviously, let me zoom this in out maybe a little bit. Let's see here. Let me make it a little bit smaller so it fits on the screen. There we go. All right. So we can see that pretty much everybody had a good week last week. We had, not the week prior, so the week of that ended 2/4. Everybody had a great week here. Everybody was in green here. You can see that here. And then this week was a mixed week with everybody. Obviously, Argo down, Digihost was down, Iris was down, and Mawson was down. Everybody else was up. And then we can see that Bitcoin has been up 3 weeks in a row here. And we can see that Core has been up 3 weeks in a row. And Hive has been up, Hut 8. And that's it. So those are the only 3 that have been kind of going the same pace as Bitcoin is, at least on the green weeks. And then we can see everybody here was down on the week of the 21st of January. And then we also had a mixed bag here on the 14th of January. We had a mixed bag as well. And prior to that, we had 2 weeks where it was everybody red. We had 1 green week, Christmas week in December. And then we only had obviously 1 that was in the green. That was Mawson here, was pumping pretty hard that week. And the week of 12/9, everybody was in red. And a mixed bag here as well in the beginning of December. And then prior to that, everybody was red as well. So kind of cool to see how things are progressing. Let me know obviously what you guys thought of all of this. But for the most part, I think the miners are going to be doing okay as long as Bitcoin goes up. Obviously, we've seen a huge increase in hash rate today, so that's trying to figure out what that is. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more details for you guys on Monday on that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, the miners are going to follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes down, miners are going to go down 1.5 to 2x from that. And then Bitcoin goes up, they do the same thing. They go up 1.5 to 2.5x. So something that we are obviously aware of. And if you're a day trader, you can obviously trade it that way. I'm not a day trader. I try to invest for the long term, so I buy and hold for the long term. I've been buying the dips, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments down below on this. It's always kind of cool to take a look at these numbers here, see how they're doing. And then also in the analyst part of it was kind of cool to take a look at that as well. But overall, I think the miners will do fine going forward. We'll have to see obviously what happens with Russia and the Ukraine, if there's a war there or not. They may have a negative impact on Bitcoin, may also have a positive impact on Bitcoin. We just don't know. So that's it. Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow if you're watching it. Otherwise, I will see you guys probably on Monday. Still maybe thinking about doing a live cast tonight. We'll see how it goes. But otherwise, I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, obviously, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. Helps me out tremendously, and that's all I ask. All right, that's it. See you guys in the next one.